Right now is honestly the best time to get a Nintendo Switch. Whoa, hey guys, it's your boy Jaden, and whoa, it's not a Sonic video, oh my god. I want to talk about the Nintendo Switch. I haven't talked about it enough in the past of my channel. I'm pretty sure a whole lot of you probably don't know anything about that, because a whole lot of you have come here from Sonic videos, and a whole lot of you probably haven't gone back a couple months ago to watch all of my videos that I was doing. I mainly talked about Nintendo, Sonic, and Kingdom Hearts, but with this whole Sonic Forces madness, I kind of got lost in the Sonic content, because the Sonic content was really what I was pushing for, because it was really fun. But anyways, let's talk about why I feel like you should get a Nintendo Switch right now if you don't have one. First off, let's talk about the Switch compared to the beginning of this year and the end of this year, which is right now. The Switch in the very beginning had me a little bit concerned. There didn't seem like there was going to be enough there, especially on launch day. Launch day was probably the most bare bones launch for any Nintendo console. The only real game we gotten was Breath of the Wild, the only real big game that people actually cared about and went out to go buy a Switch for. I was one of them, and honestly that was pretty much it. And then later on we got like Mario Kart and then ARMS, and then those are like the three games. But fast forward a couple months later, we get Splatoon 2 next, which is big. Splatoon 2, especially in Japan, or just Splatoon in general in Japan, is huge, and people over here in America, and I'm pretty sure everywhere else, like Splatoon generally. Or they're just getting into it because they weren't able to get a Wii U or didn't want to get a Wii U. And I don't blame them. The Wii U is a failed console, and there wasn't much to get on the Wii U besides really Super Smash Bros., Mario Kart, and Splatoon. Those are honestly the four games that honestly were worth getting a Wii U for. But who would really want to dish out money for a console that was washed up and pretty much dead at this point? And I feel right now the Switch is extremely worth it because there's so many games, and not even just Nintendo exclusive games, you can get on the Switch. For starters, you can get Mario Odyssey, Mario Kart 8, Breath of the Wild. You can even get Sonic Forces on the Switch. I don't suggest getting it on the Switch, but yeah, you can do that too if you want. You can get Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. What else can you get? You can get the Minecraft game or whatever. You can Rayman again, whatever. But you can get Pokken Tournament on the Switch. You can get Mario Rabbids on the Switch. It's actually surprisingly a good game from what I hear. You can get Skyrim on the Switch again for the 17th time. You can get Doom on the Switch. Like, there's so many games on the Switch. They even recently added the Batman Telltale series on the Switch. I don't know why I pronounced it like that. And then they have even the NBA 2K18 on the Switch. They got LA Noire. They have Xenoblade 2 coming to the Switch. There's just so much on the Switch. And then next year we're getting Kirby, that new Kirby game. We're getting that new Yoshi game. We're getting Metroid Prime 4 at some point. We're getting a main series core Pokemon game on the Switch. So that's gonna be crazy. I cannot wait for that. It's probably my most anticipated game on the Switch. And plus, you can get Sonic Mania on the Switch. Sonic Mania on the Switch is perfect. It is honestly perfect. I have it on the Switch. I love it. That game just fits so well on the Switch, and it's honestly worth getting on the Switch. Like, unless you want to get PC for like mods and stuff like that, that's understandable. But if you just want to play the game, I suggest getting on the Switch. It's really cool. And plus, all indie games. There's tons and tons of indie games on the Switch. There's no really shovelware on the Switch. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's some shovelware on the Switch, but there's a lot of indie games on the Switch, and a lot of people use their PS Vita for the indie games, and people like to use their Switch for indie games nowadays. I'm starting to see that a lot more, and there's tons of indie games on the Switch alongside all those big games I just listed. And I honestly feel like it's just the best time to get the Switch, and plus the holidays are coming up. And then next year, Nintendo is expanding their stock of how many Switches they have, so it'll be easier to get a Switch, hopefully. I just believe because of all these reasons, it's just worth buying a Switch. Plus, on top of that, you can just take it on the go. You don't even have to play it on the TV. I don't even need to like say this stuff. The Switch is so popular at this point, everybody just knows about it. But a lot of people still are skeptical because about the games. And I feel like the whole third-party thing is being fixed, because I listed games like Doom, LA Noire, which is an old game, Batman Telltale. Like, you have these games coming to the Switch, you know, and we're getting that Wolfenstein 2 game on the Switch probably in like a few months. It is coming a little late. That's one thing I do feel like the Switch needs to fix, or Nintendo needs to fix, is getting games out quicker, at least third-party games. I don't know if it's completely on Nintendo side, or, you know, obviously it's both parties involved, but I don't know exactly what goes on there. But hopefully they get third-party games out quicker and not later. That's one thing the Switch kind of needs to improve on, or, you know, needs to have, so, you know, it can be a more reliable console for, you know, picking up games and getting the games and actually playing them, because you won't be able to play the game if it's not out for the Switch. That aside, the Switch is just totally and completely worth it. I just feel like a Switch is a must-buy at this point. There's so many hits out on the Switch, and we're getting Xenoblade 2. That's going to be a big game that's sunk hundreds of hours into. I can just tell it already. I've already sunk over 100 hours into Breath of the Wild, and trust me, Breath of the Wild is worth getting a Switch. Unless you own a Wii U and you have it on Wii U for some reason. Burn that Wii U. Just kidding. But on top of that, the Switch has 2 Game of the Year contenders, Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild. They're both like Game of the Year contenders. Either one of them could get Game of the Year 2017, because they're both just huge games and they're both only on the Switch. So that's just more of an incentive. You get to play some of the greatest games this year on the Switch, and hopefully Xenoblade will be part of that list of greatest games. Anyways, that's why I feel like you should get a Switch, but it's ultimately up to you. How do you feel about the Nintendo Switch? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.